I'm going to cover some simple visuals. This is kind of back to basics. This is not going to be in a full-on render. I'm going to skip all this stuff about me due to time. So I'm not going to necessarily get into rendering. This is stuff that I've aimed at all disciplines. So the first thing is view settings, detail level. Depending on the category your view is set to, meaning the discipline, the detail level can affect what you see. Color schemes, pay attention to the location, whether it's in the foreground or background. If it's in the background, things that are 3D models will cover it up. So just pay attention to what you're doing. Visibility and graphics overrides, model display patterns, line weights, view filters, which I'm going to make another plug for 2022 now. You can finally use a filter with phasing, which is huge because now you can actually target specific categories based on a specific phase and get them to look different. And then use view templates. That's all I need to say about that. Use them. They make your life easier. Within view settings and graphic display options, there's a few things now. I think every year for the last like 3 years, they've made minor changes to this dialogue. So depending on which version you're in, depending on what it'll look like, but all of them have these same options. Model display style, pay attention to that, as depending on what the style is, depends on how materials are affected by that. So we have wireframe. Wireframe just looks at object styles and everything becomes transparent. Hidden line is the objects get the material graphics from the materials. Shaded and consistent colors. Realistic uses the appearance properties. Smooth lines will, with anti-aliasing, will actually like smooth things out. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it doesn't look great. It's kind of a try it and see what happens. Shadows can be really helpful for making a view have depth, just like something called depth cueing. And then pay attention to your lighting in regards to shadows. So I'm just going to step through here. I've got some examples. So hidden line, everything's transparent, but you do get, this is the part that's a little confusing, the materials patterns, surface patterns do show up if they're model. They're model patterns, they do show up even in hidden line. Hidden line's great for seeing through the model and trying to see what's going on when you have to troubleshoot something. But it can also be very confusing. I'm sorry, that was a wireframe. Hidden line is great for most of your views. That's what 90% of your views probably are. Shaded applies shading to all sides based off of your lighting. Consistent color keeps all the materials the same color regardless of where the light source might be. And then you have realistic, where you're pulling from the appearance properties of it. So back to materials, which, yes, I said I wasn't going to talk about rendering, but materials have way more to do than just render. The graphics tab is probably one of the biggest important features that I like to point out. We have the color, the amount of transparency, how much can you see through these solid objects is controlled by the material. What patterns do you want? Surface and cut patterns. For those that have been unfortunately stuck in the past, you can do foreground and background. The one catch is background patterns have to be drafting. They always are drafting patterns. So here's some other tips and tricks. Depth cueing, a little bit of an example. This is not an exact science, okay? So leave it unlocked on your view template, but what you can do is you can futz with these settings and make the things further away and closer to your cut line of your elevation show up. Silhouette lines, you can add a thickness to the line weight around the edge of your model, and this will, I should be, there we go. There's your first one that you're going to see pop. Also really good at kind of giving your elevation some depth. Yes, yes. Futz with the settings is the official terminology. You can use a background. Normally it's none, but you can use a background also to give yourself some little bit more depth. View filters for visibility and graphics. Color coding systems is doesn't work one through links, and it only works in plan views. But if you're using a filter to color code your systems to see structure or fire protection or all your different parts, filters work really well to color code everything. And like I said, now you can use phasing also, so you can get even further. And you have and/or filters. Like I said, I was running through this. So here are just a couple examples. This is a simple, just shaded view, just to give a idea of space. Axio, once again, very quick, very simple, just to give idea of space and how things are working. All right. So, all right. And that is as much as I've got time for.